I wrote this poem on March 17th, thinking about whether or not the young, not yet sainted Patrick was a Roman or a Scot, and I celebrated the fact that throughout their triumph and pain, many of the Irish over the years have viewed him with disdain. And maybe I should mention here that I'm a wee bit Irish, if you'll pardon the kitsch, but I come from a long line of silly old bitches. I'm Irish and Scottish and Welsh and Deutsch. I'm definitely of the West, and possibly Norse. And my great Aunt Verna used to say there's a little Cherokee in me, which I have yet to verify, but just between you and I was born in Pittsburgh, PA, so I get to claim the USA as my native land, which I think is grand, but I'm not the kind of person to take pride in something I had nothing to do with, when one quick look at my ancestry will tell you, through no fault of my own, I am as white as they come, and it wasn't up to me to share the same name with a Scottish rebel who was outlawed by King James VI, because like the same organic matter as everything else, all I am is what happens when people fuck, when animals mate, when life replicates itself and living organisms promulgate. More specifically, one quick look at my ancestry will tell you that through no fault of my own, I'm what happens when the Vikings invade and when there are Scottish folks in Wales. I'm the result of some Germans who loaded up and set sail to Ireland, and I don't need to be a fly to land on the wall of an ancient Irish cave to know that I am the offspring of the impious heathens. My lineage is likely nothing more than forgotten whores and undecorated warriors, bards and prophets, scientific stargazers and philosophical fornicators, weathermakers and soothsayers and bullshit artists galore, convinced that nature is holy, and what's more, that the sky is full of gods by the score. Yes, let me say again, these are my people, you know, pagans, undoubtedly accused of witchcraft and devil worship, to say the least. But just like your heritage is not your doing and their heritage is not their doing, I find my genetic roots to be neither an accomplishment nor a failing. This skin is random. I would compare it to a game of craps, but you'd have to have 200 billion dice and roll 100 billion snake eyes at the same time on the first try to grasp the insignificance of any chance you had influence on the beautifully twisted ladder of deoxyribonucleic acid that spills from your bodily fluids. So I had no say in being related to druids, but I know better now than they did back then, and that's what I call evolution, my friend. The power of knowledge again and again, and that is why I can say when the not Irish, not Catholic, plain old, slave-owning, tax-evading, woman-hating Patrick snuck off to hide on the Emerald Isle, where he thought the voice in his head was God saying kill and defile all the descendants of Celts before they did it to him. I know I was begat from either the rotting serpent flesh on his staff or the banished she-beast who was never seen again, until now, that is, because one quick look at my ancestry will tell you that through no fault of my own, I am what happens after 1,500 years of Northern Europeans trying to escape someone else's God. And from my blue eyes to my brown hair, from my wide hips and derriere, to my synapses firing in my brain and all the reasons I get pissed, I embody 700 generations whose goal it was to resist religious and political oppression. I am the descendant of a fight for progress, and though I won their war to be free and godless, which I know I inherited from my father, my mother raised me to be Protestant until I finally walked away because I've got protesting in my DNA. So no matter what you think, I was bred to think a different way. I come from stand-up poets who have to have their say. And I'm just lucky that I get to live in today, where I have access to my Gaelic roots, and I can learn how the very essence of my existence is made from the 800 gallons of snake blood that stain St. Patrick's hand.